Welcome to the Midweek message. We're taking some lessons from the book of Ruth, and I'm reading from Ruth chapter 4, verses 13 through 17 from the Christian Standard Bible. Ruth chapter 4 and verse 13. Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. He slept with her, and the Lord granted conception to her, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you without a family redeemer today. May his name become well known in Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. Indeed, your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him." Naomi took the child, placed him on her lap, and became a mother to him. The neighbor women said, "A son has been born to Naomi," and they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. And those are the final verses in the book of Ruth. We're going to look at them individually. Verse 13, Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. He slept with her, and the Lord granted conception to her, and she gave birth to a son. So Boaz and Ruth were married. A portion of Boaz's role, responsibility, obligation, and opportunity in becoming the kinsman redeemer for Naomi and her family in the stead of her husband Elimelech, who had passed, and her sons who had passed, Mahlon and Chilion. He took Ruth as his wife, as a portion of the whole thing. And so it came to pass, Ruth actually proposed to him, seemingly, and they formalized it in the front of elders of the city. They slept together, and the Lord granted conception to her, and she had a son. Remember, God is behind conceptions, births, progeny, sexuality. God is behind and involved in all of this. That's why there's so many biblical admonitions along this line. God granted conception. Verse 14, the women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you without a family redeemer today. May his name become well known in Israel." Everybody was happy. The folks were glad. The women folk congratulated Naomi, said, "Thank God a kinsman redeemer has come along, and you're being provided for, and this is honor and praise to God, and may the name of the Redeemer become well known in Israel. Your family will be blessed." And so, verse 15, "He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. Indeed, your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him." Now, referring to the child that was born, he will sustain you in your old age, security. Not only security of the kinsman redeemer, foreshadowed in 14, but the heir is also foreshadowed in 14, and he's to be well known in Israel as well. That's the hope. And this child will renew your life. Listen, when a little child is born into a family, boy, it does something to that family. And your daughter-in-law is there as well. And she loves you better than 7 sons. I think it's pretty well known that most of the caregivers for people in their old age are women, just to be honest. And verse 16, Naomi took the child, placed him on her lap, and became a mother to him. And so she's the grandmother, but she's going to be involved in helping to raise this child. And so she was delighted, and her friends and other people were delighted for her. And verse 17, the neighbor women said, "A son has been born to Naomi," and they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. And so the women who were around and friends, they said, "Naomi has a child." Now, it's not actually Naomi's child; it's Ruth's child, but it's her grandchild. And so those of us who are grandparents are very familiar with what delight we have in our grandchildren. We look at them as our own as well. And they gave him the name of Obed. Now, who was Obed? He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Naomi and Ruth went down a path of hardship and heartache and relocation and restarting and reconstituting their lives and live through uncertainty, and eventually they erode because of their faithfulness, good intentions, well-meaning actions, including the Lord in their lives and relying on Him to direct them. Their road through all of these difficulties led to Christ. David is his great father from the human side, the line of David, the lineage of David. We never know how it is that God may be working in our individual lives. Things that we don't understand will occur in your life and mine, but they will always lead us to Jesus.